Hi, I'm Tim Bean. For those people approaching middle age, medical experts are recommending a surprising form of exercise. It's not aerobics, but weightlifting, or strength training as it's now being promoted. It seems that pumping iron isn't only for the young people of this world. Weightlifting benefits older people who are out of shape, overweight, and who suffer from brittle bones. As John Stossel from ABC's 2020 reports, this revelation is causing a revolution in health clubs across the world.
Mitch Weiner says he has to live in a rest home, not because he's sick, but just because he's weak. Aging has weakened his muscles to the point that he can't take care of himself. This isn't unusual. Scientists who study aging now say that weak muscles have a bigger effect on the deterioration we associate with aging than they once thought. Of course, for the past 25 years, they've been telling us to live a longer and healthier life, exercise. Aerobics is the key, they said. Raise your pulse rate for 20 minutes 3 times a week, and you're less likely to die from heart disease. Now, this is good advice. Heart disease is the leading cause of death, so if you can reduce the risk through aerobics, by all means do it. But now they're saying aerobics isn't enough.
Some runners are so weak that they can't carry their own luggage. They can't pick it up and carry it for a long time because that...
Dr. Bill Evans heads the Human Physiology Lab at Tufts University. Research done by him and others suggests that aerobics plus weightlifting, of all things, is the key to a healthy old age.
The problem at that age is that a fall is associated in many cases with a death. And so the real strategy at that age is to prevent falls. And muscle strength is directly related to how well they can walk and go upstairs and get out of a chair.
Even the best hearts and the best minds have no place to go if you don't have a strong skeleton to take them there.
Dr. Bonnick works at Dallas's Cooper Clinic, named after this man who coined the word aerobics.
I now realize to get the optimum benefit from exercise, you can't rely just on one type. We've had to redesign our health club.
They cut the aerobic space back to make room for lots of weightlifting.
What we would see were people who had excellent cardiovascular systems and fractures in their spine, broken hips, and the quality of their lives was destroyed.
But what does building muscles have to do with broken bones?
Muscles are called skeletal muscles for a very important reason. Muscles attached to the skeleton. And that means when you lift a weight, you're not only putting stress on the muscles, but the muscles are putting stress on the bones. And it's the stress on the bones that causes them to get stronger.
The stress builds bones just the way it builds muscle?
Absolutely.
This isn't new, this knowledge.
No, it's not new.
So why have I only been hearing about...
Well, I think that strength training in the past has gotten a bad rap.
Yes, it has. Some people say, I don't want to look like this guy. And some people say this looks like too much work. Some doctors thought weightlifting might be dangerous for older people.
They were saying that if you do strength training, especially with your upper body, your blood pressure would go up, and if you had pre-existing heart disease, you might cause an extra strain on the heart. We know now that that's not true.
All this is especially important to women, because women's bones are thinner. They're more susceptible to osteoporosis, that reduction of bone mass that so often leads to broken hips. Even younger women should be concerned. Debbie Adams is 41. Because her mother has osteoporosis, Debbie went to the Cooper Clinic for a test that measures bone density. The test showed that Debbie's bone mass was equal to that of a 70-year-old woman, and too brittle, said Dr. Bonnick, for her to safely ski, ice skate, roller skate, all things she loved to do.
I cried when she told me I couldn't snow ski.
There are many women out there who feel perfectly well because a low bone strength does not make you feel bad in any way. She would never have felt ill from this until the day she broke a bone. We can intervene in those women now, when they're young, and actually prevent them from developing osteoporosis in the future.
Dr. Bonnick told Debbie, keep doing aerobic exercises, but to strengthen your bones, you need to lift weights.
I felt a little intimidated about going into a lifting gym. It's right now. I feel like I'm carrying my frame so much better and so much stronger.
After 10 months of lifting, Debbie's bone mass has increased 2.5%. Not yet enough for skiing, but maybe soon.
I wish that I had started doing it before I did.
Go ahead. Take about
On the
3
other
seconds
hand,
to get
it's
up.
never too late to
Hold
start.
it, hold it, hold it, and 3 seconds to get down.
At the Hebrew Rehabilitation Center near Boston, Abraham
this is
Date's
number
been
8.
doing strength
All the way
training
up,
for a
up,
year.
up. Good.
I enjoy doing it.
Really? It doesn't look like much fun, lifting
Well, it's
weights.
fun for me.
Why?
I enjoy it
Why?
because it keeps my spirit up.
He and these others are subjects in a National Institutes of Health study designed to see if people over 80 can benefit from weightlifting.
Good lift.
So far, good news. In fewer than 8 weeks, most more than doubled their muscle strength.
How they walk is different. They walk faster. Their balance is better. They can climb stairs where they couldn't climb stairs before. Their mental attitude is certainly different.
You broke your hip?
Yeah, I was waiting for the streetcar and I fell down and broke my hip. And that's what it was. And I will limp the rest of my life.
But your
But I'm
walking
walking
got
better.
better.
Oh, much better, much better.
The improvement seems to come from the weightlifting, not just from exercise. Sarah Chiller lifted leg weights for 10 weeks.
And you really noticed a difference.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Before I dragged a leg, I was dragging a leg and, you know, putting my weight on one foot. I don't do that now.
But then she stopped lifting. She kept doing aerobic exercise, riding this bike, but apparently that's not enough. Her walking got worse.
Her gait went right back to where it was, even though she was biking 4 days a week religiously. And so after 3 or 4 months of that, she came back to us and she said, okay, now I believe you guys, and I want to lift weights again. So she's starting again this week.
Surprising, isn't it? Did you think at 86 years old you'd be a
I'm
weightlifter?
85, not 86 yet.
85, excuse me. Did you think at this age you'd be a weightlifter?
I'm wonderful.
What happens at about this age is that you start giving up things. You start giving up, well, I don't really have the strength to walk up the flight of stairs, or I don't really have the strength to carry my groceries to the car. The last thing you give up is your functional independence. And that's when people become institutionalized. Not because they're sick necessarily, but they can't do these normal tasks of everyday living. And so that's what we want to try to prevent.
Bottom line here is going to be a tremendous improvement in the quality of life, even in the 6th, 7th, and 8th decades of life.
So, there you have it. The secret to living a long and healthy life in a great body isn't just doing aerobics, it's lifting weights. We've seen the evidence through working with hundreds of men and women just like you, how easy that getting fit, losing weight, and reclaiming the physique and energy of your youth can be if you have the right balance of exercise. Remember, your health is your greatest wealth, and a body in fantastic shape is your most valuable asset.